When people hurt you, betray you, or try to destroy your peace, your instinct might tell you to fight back, to explain, to prove your worth, Zen, or to show them what they've lost. But there's a power that few ever master, a power greater than revenge, louder than words, and stronger than anger. It's the power of walking away quietly. Because when you learn to walk away without noise, you tell the universe that your peace is not up for negotiation. Zen, you send a silent message to those who doubted you that your worth doesn't depend on their validation. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. The one who lives in silence often holds the deepest power. Silence isn't weakness. It's the armor of those who have outgrown chaos. When you walk away quietly, you reclaim your energy from people who are feeding on your reactions. Some people don't want to heal with you. They want to drain you. They survive on your confusion, present your overthinking, and your desire to make things right. But the moment you stop explaining, the moment you stop trying to fix what isn't yours to fix, they lose their grip on your spirit. They lose their walking is not surrender. It's sacred self-preservation. It's choosing peace over proving freedom over frustration. Drama. Sometimes Allah removes you from certain people not because you're weak, but because He knows your heart deserves quieter spaces, purer intentions, and souls that won't keep breaking you to feel important. You have to understand that silence is not emptiness, it's protection. Allah teaches His believers to be wise, to not waste time with those who mock truth or reject peace. When the Prophet assisted hostility, he didn't always respond with argument. He walked away with calm strength, because not every battle is worth your peace. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every wound needs you to prove it hurt. There's peace in trusting that Allah sees what you endured, and He will handle what your silence couldn't express. Present, you don't need to fight for justice in front of everyone. He will write it in your destiny in ways that make sense later. Present, sometimes you will have to walk away from people you once prayed for. That's the hardest part. But growth demands separation from what keeps you small. Present, you may love them deeply, but you must love Allah and your peace more. When your heart becomes restless in certain spaces, it's a divine sign that it's time to leave quietly. Don't announce it, don't beg to be understood, just go. The ones who truly mattered will understand your silence. The ones who never cared will expose themselves by how quickly they replaced you. Either way, your quiet departure will speak louder than any argument ever could. You must also learn that walking away doesn't mean closing your heart. It means protecting it. You still wish well, you still forgive, but you no longer chase. You no longer explain. You simply step back and let Allah be your witness. Real strength is in restraint. Anyone can react, but it takes divine control to stay silent when provoked, to walk away when your ego is screaming to stay. Allah raises those who trust His plan even when it feels unfair, because while you're being silent, He's preparing your next stage, your next healing, your next miracle. You may feel that walking away quietly makes you invisible, but in truth, it makes you untouchable. You no longer feed the cycle of pain, and you no longer give power to words that don't deserve to enter your heart. You are not losing anything when you walk away from people who disrespect your peace. You are gaining everything that matters: your calm, your clarity, your connection with Allah. You are not trying to prove who you are to the world. Present. You are trying to protect who you're becoming for the hereafter. When you no longer explain your worth to those who never saw it, you become dangerous to the enemy. So Shaitan wants you trapped in cycles of overthinking and emotional exhaustion. But when you leave quietly, you break his chains. You turn your pain into power. Present. You let silence be your shield and Allah's timing be your justice. And one day when they look back and see how peaceful you've become, they'll realize they didn't destroy you. They refined you. You walked away not because you were weak, but because you are guided. You didn't lose them. They lost access to someone who would have prayed for them even after being hurt. Your silence was not an escape. It was elevation. Present, Allah took you away so He could take you higher. So don't regret leaving quietly. Regret ever thinking you had to explain your peace to those who never deserved to disturb it. Your quiet walk away is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your strength. It's where your real voice begins to rise, not through words, but through the calmness of your soul. Keep walking quietly, because those who walk with Allah never walk alone. There will come a day when you look back and realize that your silence saved you. Present. That moment when you wanted to scream, to explain, to prove your innocence, but you didn't. That's the day your heart began to heal. Because every time you stay quiet in front of lies, Every time you walk away from drama, every time you choose peace instead of chaos, you are showing that you've outgrown the need for validation. You've learned that silence is not weakness, it's wisdom in disguise. So Allah is the witness to every misunderstanding, every false word spoken about you, every betrayal that cut deep while you said nothing. Present. You didn't lose when you walked away. You won your freedom. People think walking away is easy, but they don't see the battles you fought inside yourself to stay silent. Present. The anger you had to swallow, the tears you had to hide, the moments when your heart begged you to speak, but your soul whispered, Preze, let Allah handle it. That whisper is faith. That's the quiet voice of someone who trusts their creator more than their emotions. And that's power. And the world glorifies those who fight back. But the truth is, it takes far greater strength to walk away in silence and let the divine do your talking. Present. There's something sacred about quiet exits. You don't slam doors. You don't expose anyone. You don't seek revenge. Present. You simply leave with peace in your heart and prayer on your lips. Because deep down you know that Allah's justice is far more precise than your anger. The same people who tried to bury you will one day have to watch you bloom from the same soil they threw dirt on. But you won't be watching them. You'll be too busy growing in the light Allah gave you. That's what walking away quietly means. It's trusting that your story is safe with the one who wrote it. Present, sometimes the loudest goodbye is the one that never gets spoken. It's the quiet distance, the sudden peace. The moment when you stop reaching out. Present, stop trying to be understood. Stop trying to fix what was never broken by you. You start to realize that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Some people only came to eat, not to contribute, not to contribute. And when Allah shows you that truth, your silence becomes your strength because you no longer try to convince them. You let your absence teach them. You let your peace speak louder than your pain ever could. Walking away quietly is also an act of mercy. You save others from your anger and you save yourself from regret. You stop feeding the fire that was never meant to keep you warm. You stop explaining your heart to those who listen only to respond, not to understand. You realize that your worth doesn't decrease because someone failed to see it. When you walk away, you're not abandoning them. You're choosing yourself, your faith, present, your mental peace. That's not selfishness. That's self-respect wrapped in wisdom. And it's in that silence that Allah reveals you. When you stop talking about what they did, He begins to restore what you lost. He begins to replace noise with clarity, chaos with calm, wounds with wisdom. You'll start to see why it all had to happen the way it did. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the separation, they were not punishments, they were purification. Allah was pulling you away from people and places that were lowering your spirit, preparing you for something higher, something purer, something only silence could lead you toward. When you finally learn to walk away quietly, you'll notice the air feels different. You breathe lighter. Your sleep feels deeper. Your mind becomes clearer. That's the peace you were always chasing through words. That's the freedom you couldn't find in arguments. Present. Silence gave it to you. It'll stop seeking closure from others because Allah already gave you peace in the form of distance. And that's the real closure. Present, accepting that some doors must remain closed so you can keep your peace intact. They may wonder why you disappeared. They may talk, assume, twist your story. Present. But you won't care anymore because peace doesn't need to be defended. Your silence will be misunderstood, but it will also be respected by those who truly know your worth. You don't owe explanations to those who never valued your truth. Let them think whatever they want. So Allah knows the reality and that's enough. The moment you make peace with being misunderstood is the moment you step into true freedom. So walk away quietly with your heart still pure. Let them think they won. Let them think they broke you. Let them live with their noise while you live in peace. Present. Because silence is not the end. It's the beginning of elevation. It's Allah's way of telling you, I saw what you didn't say. I will speak for you when the time is right. And when that time comes, your silence will echo louder than any argument ever could. So keep walking quietly, gracefully, faithfully, because those who walk away with Allah never walk alone, and their silence becomes their greatest victory. There's a deep beauty in silence that most people never discover because they're too busy defending, explaining, or reacting. But the one who learns to walk away quietly begins to taste a kind of peace that feels divine. When you stop trying to make people see your value, present, when you stop chasing closure, when you stop explaining your side of the story, you give Allah space to move in ways that words never could. Every time you choose to stay silent in front of injustice, you're saying, Ula Allah, you are my witness. You know what they don't? That's not weakness. That's surrender to divine justice, and the one who surrenders never loses. You see, people misunderstand silence. They think it's the sound of defeat. But in reality, present, it's the language of those who have nothing left to prove. Your silence says, present, I no longer need to explain what my character has already shown. It says, my peace matters more than your opinion. Present, it says, I am letting Allah fight this battle because I trust His plan more than my emotions. And that's where true strength begins. Not in noise, but in calm. It's when you can smile, walk away, and not carry the bitterness with you. That's a level of peace only Allah can give. There will be moments when walking away quietly will hurt more than staying. You'll miss the conversations, the memories, the laughter. Present. But you'll also remember the sleepless nights, the constant anxiety, the weight that came with trying to make something work that was breaking you. Present, and in that remembrance, you'll feel gratitude for the silence. Because peace isn't about what you keep, it's about what you release. You'll start to realize that walking away was never a loss. It was the start of a softer, calmer chapter that you didn't even know you needed. The truth is, not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people were only written in a few pages of your story, not the whole book. Present, holding on to them would have kept you stuck in chapters that no longer serve your growth. Allah sometimes ends connections not because He wants to hurt you, but because He's heard conversations you didn't, seen intentions you missed, and felt energy you ignored. So when He removes someone, say Alhamdulillah, even if it hurts, because one day you'll see that their absence made space for your peace, your clarity, your elevation. When you walk away quietly, you also free your soul from the burden of proving your worth. You stop chasing validation in people who were never capable of seeing you. You start realizing that not everyone is supposed to understand you. And that's okay. Your journey is sacred. Your peace is personal, present. You don't need applause to be valuable. You don't need closure to be complete. You just need to trust that Allah is not taking something from you. Present. He's protecting something within you. The silence you walk into today is the peace you'll thank Him for tomorrow. Sometimes the best response is no response. You can't argue with people committed to misunderstanding you. You can't reason with hearts filled with pride. And you can't seek peace from those who feed on conflict. So stop trying, walk away quietly, and let your absence do the talking, because silence is a mirror. It reflects truth back to those who need to see it. They'll notice the calm after your departure. They'll feel the weight of what they lost when your peace is no longer around them. But by then, present, you'll be too far gone to care. You'll be too busy protecting the serenity Allah restored within you. The hardest part of walking away quietly is the battle within, the urge to be heard, to explain, to defend. But that's the ego speaking, not the soul. The ego wants to win. The soul wants to heal. Choose healing. Every time you silence your ego, you allow your heart to be guided by faith. You begin to see that Allah doesn't need your words to reveal truth. He has His own timing. He will expose what was hidden, reveal what was said behind your back, and lift you in front of the same people who tried to break you. But first, He asks you to stay quiet, to walk away, to trust. The peace that follows quiet exits is sacred. You'll start to notice how much energy you used to waste trying to be understood. You'll realize how exhausting it was to explain your pain to those who caused it. Present. And when that realization hits, you'll thank Allah for teaching you how to be silent. Because silence is where strength lives. And silence is where strength lives. It's where healing begins. It's where you learn that not reacting is also a form of power. Every quiet walk away is a declaration that you're done letting others control your emotions. You now respond from wisdom, not wounds. So walk away quietly with your head held high, with your heart still kind, and with your faith unshaken. Because Allah sees your silence, hears your unspoken pain, and knows the weight you carry. One day He will show the world what your silence protected, what your peace preserved, and what your patience produced. Until then, present, keep walking quietly, because sometimes the greatest proof of strength is not in how loudly you speak, but in how peacefully you leave. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when silence becomes the only language left. You stop talking, stop defending, stop explaining, because deep down, you finally understand that not everyone deserves access to your peace. You learn that your silence holds more truth than your words ever could. Walking away quietly doesn't mean you've given up. It means you've grown up. It means you've reached a point where peace has become more valuable than proving your point. You no longer chase after what's breaking you. You no longer run after people who show you they can live without you. You walk away quietly because you finally see the power in letting go gracefully. There is a special kind of dignity that comes with walking away without anger, without announcements, without noise. You just stop showing up where you are no longer appreciated. You stop investing your heart where it keeps getting hurt. You stop explaining your soul to those who listen only to reply, not to understand. That quiet departure is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's Allah teaching you to protect your heart the way He protects your destiny. Every time you leave with peace, you're saying, "Yeah, Allah, I trust your plan more than my pain." That's not retreat, that's elevation. Present, sometimes the silence after walking away is where the real healing begins. You begin to hear yourself again. Present, you begin to notice how peaceful life feels when it's not filled with noise, gossip, or drama. You start to rebuild your connection with Allah without distractions. Friends, in the same silence that once scared you becomes your sanctuary. And the loneliness you feared turns into peace. Because when you leave the wrong people, you make space for the right ones. When you stop chasing chaos, calmness finds you. That's the hidden blessing of quiet departures. Allah replaces the noise with peace so pure that you finally understand what it means to be guided. You'll start to realize that walking away quietly is not just about people. It's about situations, habits, and even thoughts that drain your soul. You'll learn to leave behind the overthinking, the self-doubt, the fear of being misunderstood. You'll begin to understand that your energy is sacred and not everyone deserves access to it. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's spiritual. It's an act of worship when you choose to step away from anything that distances you from Allah. Because not every noise around you is meant to be heard. And not every storm deserves your presence. And when you walk away quietly, you'll notice who follows. You'll see who comes after you, not because they miss your attention, but because they value your presence. Silence has a way of revealing truth. It exposes loyalty. Present, it shows who genuinely cares when there's nothing left to gain. Sometimes you'll be surprised by who disappears and who stays. But either way, your heart will be protected because Allah removes people with purpose. Every loss is a lesson, every departure a direction. So don't chase what He has ended. Just trust that your peace is being rebuilt in silence. People will wonder how you remain calm when everything around you feels heavy. They'll wonder why you don't react the way you used to. But that's the power of walking away quietly. It transforms you. You no longer need to explain yourself to be understood. You no longer need to fight to be seen. You've learned that Allah sees you, hears you, and knows the truth. No one else does. That knowledge alone is enough to keep you silent in the face of lies. Because you know that divine justice never sleeps. The one who watched your tears will bring truth to light, not through your voice, but through His timing. There's a reason why silence is described as golden. It's because it carries the weight of wisdom. The more you grow, the less you speak. The more you trust Allah, the less you need to explain. You start to find peace in just observing, understanding, and moving forward quietly. Your silence becomes your statement. Your walk away becomes your closure. Present. And your peace becomes your response. You no longer need to prove who you are. You simply live in a way that reflects it. And when you master that level of peace, present, you become unshakable. People can misjudge you, misunderstand you, even mock you, but they can't take your calm away because your calm comes from Allah, not from approval. They can talk about you, but you'll stay silent because your silence speaks the truth louder than their noise ever could. They'll expect a reaction, but you give them nothing. Because you've realized that some things are not worth your voice. Some lessons are best learned in your absence. So walk away quietly, not out of pride but out of peace. Walk away because you finally learn that your energy is a form of worship. Walk away because you trust Allah's justice more than your emotion. Walk away because silence protects what words can destroy. The ones who truly mattered will feel your absence. The ones who never cared will replace you quickly. And that's your answer. Don't return. Don't explain. Don't look back. The peace you found in silence is proof that you made the right decision. And one day, when you're far from the noise and deep in your peace, present, you'll smile at how far you've come. You'll thank Allah for every quiet exit, every silent prayer, every moment you held back from reacting. Because all along your silence wasn't empty. It was filled with faith, and faith never goes unheard. So keep walking quietly because Allah is guiding every step, healing every wound, and building a peace in you that no noise can ever destroy.